Every car you see today on the road has been a piece of art at some point, when it was a design sketch and when it was a clay sculpture. Even the blandest of the bland were some car designers' pride and joy. That is until the accountants turn them into profitable products. Meh. But sometimes, the art survives. Hey guys, I'm Stype, and here are 7 production cars that I consider to be art on wheels. Let's do this.
Number 7.
When putting together a list of the most beautiful cars, the chance for an Aston Martin DB9 to be on it is like 100%, maybe even more. I've yet to hear anyone say that this car is ugly. But have you ever asked yourself why? Why is it so pretty? Well, it all comes down to math, actually. Look at this photo. See those lines? They all have ratios of 1 to 1.618, the golden ratio. The length of the hood to the length of the windshield, door to the rear wheel center, wheel arch height to window height. It's all mathematically perfect, and the reason why, when Aston abandoned this design principle, their cars started to look, let's say, less perfect. This number, this golden ratio, no matter how unemotional it is, has caused humans to be awestruck and fall in love for thousands of years. Even the ancient Greeks have discovered that there's something about this number that humans are magically drawn to. The golden ratio has been the gold standard for beauty in all forms of visual art, architecture, painting, sculptures, movie shots, even the human body. The perfect proportions, the perfect face, perfect smile, it all comes down to 1.618.
The width of the mouth was exactly 1.618 times the width of the nose. If the face wasn't beautiful, that wasn't the case.
Unsurprisingly then, if you create a car around that same number, you'll get this perfectly proportioned, beautiful, classical piece of art that will look good to everyone.
Number 6.
France is a country of exquisite hedonism, and as such, it tends to push the limits of style and taste a bit too far. These snails are French delicacy. This cross-dressing guy was their king, and this Citroen DS5 is their idea of a compact executive car. In short, France is not for the normies. Let's start with the shape. What is it? Too low to be a classic hatchback, too short to be a wagon, too sporty to be a minivan. Compared to its rivals, it looks nothing like them. It's just French. But what really sets the DS5 apart is just how over-the-top stylish it is. Chrome eyebrows that do nothing, arched roof pillars that thin out towards the end like a fine stroke of a brush, and this thing just adds some razzle-dazzle. And how about these intricate patterns in the wheels? There's no surface on the car that hasn't been stylized to its absolute limit, maybe even over it. But the interior is, if anything, even more fashionable. Watch band seats, the switches in the roof, the chaotic placement of the media buttons that somehow still looks pleasing. It's all very, exquisite. In gamer terms, Citroen had 10 points to spend, and then spent most of them on the looks, because as a car, this is not a very good one. But then again, art is not supposed to be useful. It has no purpose other than being itself. So by that logic, the DS5 is more of a, say it with me, art on wheels.
L'art sur roue.
Number 5.
You know how some of the most famous artists were complete madmen? Picasso's view of the world was psychedelic. Gaudi thought Barcelona should be a candy town. And then there was Chris Bangle's view of the BMW. Ugly or maybe just misunderstood. The one that I can understand is the Z4. Don't get me wrong, it's not the prettiest car ever, actually. I wouldn't even call it pretty. The front is emotionless, the grille is misaligned, and this line that goes over the front under the door, and then it shoots straight up into the interior. I've never seen anything like it, but it works. The Bangle's Z4 has that magnetism which makes you want to inspect it a little closer. And then you notice all the giant slabs of metal that are just slightly twisted and bent to catch the light. Look at the front splitter, or this cut that goes through the side indicator and ends in the windshield. Contrasting those are strong contour lines, like the ones around its mouth, or the ones that connect the front and rear lights, but they dip in the middle to give the car a smaller waist. There's so much tension on them, it makes the surface look like a stretched cloth, not metal. The way I see the Bengal Z4 is more like an exercise with lines, shapes, and their interplay with the light, like something that fell out of a Bauhaus catalog. But then again, I could be misinterpreting it. That's just art for you.
Number 4.
90 years ago, the automotive industry was very young and very, very different. Most cars were just mechanical machines that had to not break down. Who cares about the shape of it, right? Coincidentally, this was also the age of Art Deco, which basically means decorate everything. That is, if you got the money for it. Think Great Gatsby style. Such folks were driving very different cars from what you'd commonly see dirty peasants in. Cars that were innovative, outrageous, and more beautiful than anything that ever followed. Cars like the futuristic Phantom Corsair or the original Alfa Romeo 8C Coupe or this stunning Mercedes SSK, which puts every other Batmobile to shame. Ford too was joining in the beauty pageant with a Model 40 Special Speedster, which looks like an aerodynamic freight train. But again, leave it to the French to push things above and beyond. Delahaye, Bugatti, Talbot, and even Peugeot were all following what is called the Goutte d'eau design, or simply the teardrop design. And those cars were, well, see for yourself, curvy, voluptuous, and just incredible. Many of them were styled by special coach builders to meet the specific needs of the spoiled rich clientele. This includes celebrities and even royalties. Come to think of it, West Coast Customs is just doing the same thing coach builders did all those years ago. It's just that the rich from the 1930s had a better sense of style. Or maybe this was considered cringe back in the day. Anybody have a great-great-great-parent who remembers?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Number 3.
Here I go again with the LFA, but please hear me out, or better yet, hear it out. What you just heard is the most beautiful sound any car has ever made, and the way things are going, it will probably remain so for the rest of time. Yes, the LFA got the spot on this list not because of its looks, which frankly are nothing special, but because this car is a finely tuned instrument that makes music. I'm sure you heard that Yamaha did its V10 engine, but did you know that Yamaha also has a huge division that makes all kinds of musical instruments too? Pianos, violins, trombones. And when it was time to tune the LFA's sound, the engineers from this musical division were brought in to do the magic on that car too. They treated it as a musical instrument, which explains why there's an LFA surge tank displayed along other instruments in the Yamaha's Museum of Music. Yeah! Sure, other cars can also sound good, but do they roar like an angel? Can they break a wine glass like some opera singer? Do they fill the whole interior with a symphony every time you step on the gas pedal? No, they don't. So let's just listen to the LFA some more.
Fuck yeah. Number 2.
You know how art can often be expensive? So how about this then? The Ferrari 250 GTO, which goes for as much as $70 million. $70 million. Per kilo, this Ferrari is more expensive than gold. The reason for this insanity is a very low number. Only 36 were ever made, and all of them have a very rich racing history. Plus, the GTO is drop-dead gorgeous. Beautiful swooping lines, the bulges, the curves. Forget about those enhanced Instagram models. This is proper sexy. It even has a perky ass.
Yeah, boy.
And all of this is handmade, hand-rolled metal, which means that no two cars are the same. So don't expect that the door from one would perfectly fit on another. Anyway, being so desirable but rare means that the GTO replica business is a lucrative one. The Chevy-powered one from the Vanilla Sky movie sold for $90,000. In this modern interpretation by Aries, which is based on the 812 Superfast, got Ferrari really mad. Stop diluting our special creation! So Ferrari went to the Italian court asking to classify the car's shape as a piece of art, which means stricter protection against reproduction. And they won. The GTO was art, just like this painting or this sculpture. First time ever in history that one car was officially classified as such. Sadly, it didn't last. EU was like,
since you're not going to be producing more of them, you can't stop others from drawing a similar shape. Overruled.
official or not, the GTO is still a piece of art in my book.
Number 1.
Sure, it's fast and it's hyper, but the way most people describe the Huayra is art. That's even more true when you learn about the man behind it, Horacio Pagani. This man is an automotive Leonardo da Vinci. Clever, innovative, slightly mad, and absolutely obsessed with the way things look. Horacio is so proud of the Huayra's beautiful suspension arm that he has it displayed in a gallery. Like it's, I'm getting tired of repeating myself, a piece of art. And it's not just that. Every part of this car was given equal attention. The side mirror that's inspired by a woman's eye, or the way its carbon fiber weave is aligned, or the shifter linkage and the sound it makes. Some parts were nearly impossible to make, like the seats. Pagani went to the makers of the finest leather and asked, "I want it to be as soft as a woman's handbag, but tough and durable enough to be used for the car seats." "Impossible! Such leather does not exist!" "I'm not asking if it exists, I'm asking you to make it." And after a year of trying, they did. I bet that every piece of this car has such an amazing story to tell, but put them all together, and this amazement is even greater. Okay, let's skip to the Roadster because I really don't like the original one. Yeah, that's more like it. I know it's a shame to store some cars and never drive them, but for this thing, I'd put it up on a plinth, shine a light on it, and drool all day, every day. What a thing. And now, 3 other rolling sculptures. Can you guess them? Did you guess them? Which art pieces on wheels would you include? Write down in the comments, like, subscribe, fart really loud, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.